Now, according to Aristotle, characteristics of a tragedy, we are taking that quote from the very philosopher. His own definition we're going to talk about. Tragedy, according to Aristotle, is an imitation of an action. Imitation of an action. We know it's getting represented. Some characters, some persons take the role of some, enact the role of some of the uh, persons, sometimes kings or queens or any or laymen, whatever it may be, whoever it may be, but you are imitating the action of the particular character, and that is serious. As it is a tragedy, you cannot stay away from discussing serious things. The scene, that theme, everything should be dealt in a serious manner, complete and of a certain magnitude, complete in itself. It should be with a proper beginning, middle, and end. We will come to that. It should be complete and of a certain magnitude. A certain magnitude means a proper length. It talks about the desirable length for a play. It should not be too long, should not be too short. And what should be the kind of magnitude, desirable magnitude, a kind of length of a play? Aristotle gives his own definition. We will discuss that in the coming, after this. In language, embellished with, ornamented. That's why I told you, embellishing, making it very ornamental. It's not a common daily life speech. It should not be in a daily life conversation format. Embellishment with each kind of artistic ornament. You can flourish, you can make a language really beautiful. You can communicate things in a very simple or straight and very casual, informal way, as well as in a very ornamental way. Think about the literary language, poems, in which poems or short stories, fiction, or those are written, some chords. Think about the beauty because of the kind of artistic elements, ornament added up by the poet. That's what you mean by language competence. And Aristotle prefers that. The several kinds being found in separate parts of the play. So these ornaments, ornamental language, it's supposed to be used in a very harmonious or as and when situation occasion demands only. It should not be completely, that whole play should not be loaded with artistic or ornamental language. According to the characters and their roles, it should be distributed, that their dialogues should be embellished in that way. If it is a very layman character, comparatively subordinate character, the dramatist has to make it accordingly. Their speech accordingly, it has to be made somewhere informal or common accordingly. So that is the skill of the writer, the playwright. The several kinds being found in separate parts of the play. That's it. It should not be with a from beginning to end. It should not be given in ornamental language. That also will spoil the smooth enjoyment. So in the form of action, as it is told, this is a form, dramatic form, something that is meant to be staged. So main focus is upon the action of the characters, not of narrative. Unlike you read a poem, unlike you read a fiction, it's always meant mainly to be staged. So through pity and fear. Pity and fear we will discuss in detail. Affecting the proper. So that's one of the major components of a tragedy. Major requirement of a tragedy. Pity and fear. Affecting the proper purgation of these emotions. Purgation is a kind of catharsis. That's another term for it. Purification. You get an outlet of your pent up emotions after watching a tragedy. Though you are tensed because of the downfall of the characters, main characters, or the comparatively better characters, still there is a purgation, an outlet of your pent up emotion. Every human mind is with some tensions, fear, worries, something of that kind. So you are letting it free after watching such downfall and all. It's always not always you have a problem, you have more tension added up to that. But Aristotle talks about if it is a good tragedy composed of all these elements, carrying all these compositions and requirements once fulfilled, that can get you a proper purgation of your emotions. Your pent up emotions like fear, anger, worry, you will be having an outlet. You will have a chance for letting those free. Okay? Yes. Now we're taking each part and going for an explanation. Serious action. What is that? Serious action. Should be tale of suffering. First thing, it's about a tale of suffering that arouses pity and fear. As it is a tragedy. Though the character, even though if it is representing a king, sometimes we expect a king or queen to be so powerful. So how are they going to suffer? What kind of a suffering is to be there in their life? They are rich and they have everything. They have power. So how does this suffering come? How does it matter? How they can suffer? Because when you look from outside, or when you take that notion of a king or royalty, something like that, there is no chance for them to suffer because they have everything. But there are many aspects in life that cannot be brought with power or wealth. Main thing that maybe peace of mind, happiness, love. Nothing of this kind can be bought, B-O-U-G-H-T, bought, I see. Bought with your wealth or power. Think about it. So irrespective of your being king or queen or prince or princess or a layman, very common man, common person, common human being, common citizen, sufferings can be there because sometimes you wish for something and your whole wealth won't bring you that. Obviously, everyone might have come across that situation at some point or another in life. So it can be a tale of suffering. Think about some of the Shakespearean tragedies. Hope you know some plot at least. We will have it. You will have it in prescribed as prescribed text in the coming semesters. Hamlet, one main tragic, one of the major tragedies written by Shakespeare. Hamlet. What is the suffering of that prince Hamlet? What is the problem? What is the mm, doom that befell King Hamlet? I will send you the briefing of that play, and you should read it. It will help you out to have an clear understanding of what is discussed by Aristotle here. Okay, so tale of suffering. In that, a lot of royal murders, treachery, everything is there in the royal building. King Hamlet, Father Hamlet, is killed by his own brother, and he marries this and Prince Hamlet. His son is Prince Hamlet. This widow, Hamlet, Prince Hamlet's mother, was immediately married by this person, this uncle, Claudius. And the Father Hamlet or King Hamlet comes and informs, as an apparition, a ghost, he comes and informs this son that you should take revenge because he killed me. He poisoned and killed me to take my throne and my queen. But your mother is very poor. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't have any role in this. So you should take revenge. So this is a revenge. It's a motive is revenge, but a lot of sufferings. At the end, this whole family, the whole family gets erased, killing each other in between, a love failure. Everything is there in that play, in that tragedy. So it's a tale of suffering actually. The whole royal wealth doesn't assure any happiness for them. All those characters suffer. So that's how it is. It's one of the major. That's how it is termed, or it comes under the category of tragedy. It arouses pity and fear in us because Prince Hamlet, he's not a problematic person. He's good, comparatively good, but his decisions are wrong. Hamartia, the error of judgment, that brings a lot of problems. That brings a lot of problems. Then, so serious action means a tale of suffering that arouses pity and fear. Second term, action. It should be of action. All living activities, deeds, thoughts, feelings. In uh, it all this together comprise action. Deeds are actions. Directly, you mean action itself. The works that we do, something that we do, deeds. Thoughts. Thoughts also reveal itself in action. I told you about the technique called aside, A-S-I-D-E. Aside means one character plans for some harm upon the other character who is standing nearby the stage, nearby the person on stage. The plan should be revealed to audience before this is executed, but the other person should not know it. So the thought also, but it should be revealed in speech, and it is called aside. Thoughts and feelings, sometimes the feeling also should be revealed. Or all these come under the category or come under the feature called action. Sometimes it is in deeds, in direct action. Sometimes their thoughts also comprise is part of action. Their feelings once expressed also is part of action. Serious action. As it is a tragedy, it should be serious action. Now, the play should be complete. Next main requirement is about its being very complete. It's complete. Its completeness should be complete or self-contained. What does it mean? It should be with a proper beginning, middle, and end. So, what do you mean by a proper beginning? Proper beginning means nothing has to be told to the readers about the play. Nothing should be told, nothing has to be played. So, yes, these are the characters. As an audience, we are able to understand everything immediately well. So, there should not be a confusion. Everything should be very clear because some of the planned and well structured language or dialogues or introduction, you get the idea, you are into the play, you start enjoying it in the very beginning. Sometimes there is a problem like that. If it is in a class also, some students stay there and teacher starts lecturing. In the very beginning, one person feels like, okay, I don't understand what she says or what he says. This starts the problem. So even some people feel like that prejudice. Sometimes maybe because of the prejudice. I won't understand anything told here in this class or by this faculty. Or sometimes just because of the beginning was not really properly given, properly communicated. You lost connection. So whatever follows, you find it very difficult to. You don't even feel like listening. So that is the way. If a beginning, that's we always say first impression is the best impression. It doesn't have anything to do with fear, do anything here, but you just try to connect it. The idea, very simple idea, proper beginning. That is, nothing specifically. You don't have to say anything. You become part, or you start enjoying at the very beginning. So completeness. The first idea is about the proper beginning, and then to the middle. From such a beginning, it moves to the middle with a lot of actions, characters, dialogues. It moves to the middle and culminates in the end. Ends up there somewhere. These are the natural outcome of all these three aspects. The natural outcome of all these three aspects. Means, yeah, it has a course, it's a very smooth going. If it happens in this way, if there is a smooth channel of all these events, like a flowing, it's like a flow. You become one with that. You can flow with it. The audience also becomes capable of enjoying, traveling with the characters and the events that are staged. And if it happens in that way, you can say that the play is with a completeness or self-contained. It's a self-contained play with a proper beginning, middle, then culminating in the end. Obviously, the end may be something tragic, unhappy, but that is not the point. The way these events take place matters. Then, then he talks about the organic unity, certain magnitude, organic unity. Now we go to the point called organic unity. The organic unity of the play is ensured by such a progression. So this is a progression. This is a progression. Organic unity is there. An organic unity. Harmonious way of giving things. That's what I mean by organic unity. So such a plot such a plot should be of a reasonable length. That's the next point. That is very important. Already told, it is meant to be staged. So you cannot make an audience stay beyond a limit. There should be a time limit for the events to take place. Means a mind can comprehend it full in one view or within the required time. So you should not stuff the stage, stuff the play plot with a lot of events. You have to choose the events. What all things I should represent. What all ideas or events I should add as part of this script. So that the audience, the person, viewer, can comprehend it comprehend it full in one view. Otherwise, we are likely to be confused. Especially if it is a play that is not known to us, the plot is not known. So stuffing a lot of characters, including a lot of characters, and making it very lengthy, too lengthy, you won't be able to enjoy it the way we mean or want. So he says that all these are points given by Aristotle, his own ideas. It should be of a right proportion. Very important idea. Right proportion. A proper proportionate way of things. Making things. Arranging the incidents. In itself and in its parts. Everywhere you have to maintain this right proportion. It means a length which can be easily embraced by the memory. A length which can be easily embraced by the memory. You can remember everything all in one stretch, at a stretch. That means, yeah, you start watching a play at 10 o'clock. It goes on till 1 p.m. And you start losing touch or connection with the characters. A lot of characters come on stage. You won't be able to recollect even which character is in which is what is the connection, what is the relationship of this character to that, or that character to this, and this to the other. Well, you will be confused like anything. So length which can be easily embraced by the memory. That's what he wants. It should be of a reasonable length. So that your memory, the audience, the person who is watching, or the persons who are watching, they don't find it difficult to recollect or to connect back with the characters and events presented on stage within the limited time. That's why you have to limit the length of the play as well. You can't exceed it beyond a limit. Then, should be given, but at the same time, because of this requirement, you don't have, or the playwright doesn't have the provision to make it in a like somewhere. Sometimes we might have come across. We feel like okay, it's done for the sake of doing. There is no justice done to the event. There is no proper explanation for something presented because you just want to finish off in limited time. I'm not left out with more time, so I'm sometimes some people end up in that way. When you go for some presentations and all, every time we cannot blame the person who is presenting or persons who are presenting. Sometimes certain systems allow only 10 minutes to speak. After that, yeah, the person who is chairing starts reminding, and the person may be with a lot of stuff and ideas, but within that limited time, to finish off some of the major ideas or what all things he or she has in mind, there is a kind of unlikely, abrupt ending. That also should not happen in this case. You should get enough space to unfold its sequence of events naturally and fully. That is the main idea. For that, it's a craftsmanship of the playwright. What to be added, how far it can be presented, how much time should be allotted for such a part, such an incident. If you're presenting a quarrel between two characters, you can just finish off it in 5 minutes. You can extend it to 10 minutes, so that sometimes some other important event may not be getting that much space. You're in a hurry to finish off at that time. So it's about the craftsmanship of the writer, the playwright. So that is should be a natural and full smooth channel of events and aspects here. I finished it off. The artistic ornaments are like rhythm, harmony, and song. Sometimes you can add rhythmic patterns in language, harmonious, and sometimes songs you can add. And these are to be employed as the occasion demands only. For the sake of adding something like song, you should not add it. You have to make it or bring it in the context where it is necessary and where it is fitting enough. And these are used to enrich the language of the play. That also, as per the occasion demands only. And it's in the form of an action in tragedy distinguishes it from the epic. Epic also discusses a character, a very serious life of a hero, but this action, the possibility of it's getting enacted on stage, to be represented in action on stage with the living and moving characters, that distinguishes it from an epic, which has an immediate connection with the tragedy. Because a tragedy evolves from epic form later at a later point of time. So epic is a story narrated in verse, V-E-R-S-E, verse, poetic form by the poet. But tragedy is done by living and moving characters. I should not explain it again, I think. Living and moving characters, you present them on stage, unlike in an epic. You read it and read and read and read. It's very lengthy sometimes. We mentioned it. We quoted some examples. So the dramatist remains unseen in a tragedy. Because the dramatist remains unseen. The dramatist, in normal case, doesn't come on stage. We are talking about classic time period and the classic tragic concept of tragedy. Nowadays, sometimes dramatists come on stage. Sometimes a scriptwriter comes on stage. Every technique, everything is experimented now, mainly in such a visual representation, genre of visual representation. But there you are talking about Aristotelian views on tragedy or drama, where the dramatist remains completely unseen. So it is literature intended to be acted as well as read out. That is, you should note down that point. The narrative verse is intended only to be read. That is, epic or any other narrative verse is intended only to be read. But tragedy or dramatic forms are supposed to be or intended to, meant to be acted as well as to be read out. Apart from its staging, you can definitely go for enjoying it in reading as well. We read Hamlet, we read Macbeth. Always we do not go for watching the tragedy. See, this is in you can take it in double format. Twice, two different ways you can enjoy a tragedy or any dramatic form. But unlike a narrative verse, like epic or anything, you can just read it and go. So the next main idea will be the elements, that major constituent parts of a tragedy. We will discuss it in the next class only. Thank you so much.